Hi friends, it's Dave from Southgate Travel Adventures. So I get asked all the time where I'm finding my travel deals. And what I tell people is there's no easy answer. Everyone has a different strategy. I kind of shop for travel year round. I really do. I enjoy the process, and you kind of get engaged and you get to understand the prices and the costs and the opportunities and the seasonality of things. And that's what's important. So if you only go on a trip maybe once every 2 years and you go to the travel agent, he looks after it or she looks after it, you're going to be overpaying, and you're going to be doing these like $10,000 to $20,000 once in a lifetime trips. We don't do once in a lifetime trips. So I have maybe 5 tips that I use every day, and strategies I use every day to book trips. This winter we have three trips planned now, and every one of them was a result of like research, planning, and looking. So number one, and this was relevant this year for me. We live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is certainly not a major city. It's just a small mid-sized city, Eastern Canada. There's not a lot of direct flights everywhere. However, this year there was some seasonal flights that WestJet had. They basically had the markets of Paris, Barcelona, Amsterdam, and Dublin. So these are like access points to Europe. And the shoulder season deals on these flights were just outstanding. So let's go and take a look at what I see in Google Flights. And it's still there, actually. This is September 2025. The deals are still there. We took advantage of some of these opportunities because they're real good. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so WestJet has these flights that are local to us, which are just amazing things. So, for example, Halifax to Dublin, and it's still September. I'm looking here at availability for October of $276. Let's see. Direct. From Halifax to Dublin. This is just amazing, right? To get that access. Typically during the summer, you're paying $1,200 return per passenger. And to get these deals on shoulder season, they're really good. So what I was able to do this year, these flights, it's really the same. The flights were to London Gatwick that we got for, I think, $275, and we got Amsterdam one-way return for $225. So what I was able to do in this situation is I was able to create myself an open jaw flight. So we fly in to London Gatwick, we return to Halifax from Amsterdam. 2 beautiful cities, and we had 2 days. We basically created this as an open jaw cruise. So we took a 5-day MSC cruise, basically that leaves Southampton, goes to France, goes to Germany, and then goes to Amsterdam. I think there's 1 sea day in between. So it was a kind of a nice way to leverage those flights without actually spending the money on the big expensive hotels, because London is very expensive, Amsterdam is very expensive. This is shoulder season, but they're still expensive. It's an expensive town. So that's what we did. The cruise days really worked out to $200 a day. So that includes the cruise, the food, the entertainment, and the bed. So that's pretty good for a decent ship. It's MSC. They're fine. They're reliable. They're going to get us there. So it's an open job, and it worked out really good. If you ignore those, say, a shoulder season, whatever, you'd pay 3 times as much or more to go on the same trip in July. So you just got to be open to these opportunities, right? So that's leverage local deals, and don't be afraid of the shoulder season, and keep in mind open jaws. That's number one thing. So you can end up with a really nice trip really for $2,000 out of pocket is what that's paying, plus the cost of the hotels. The way we planned it was 2 days in London, 2 days in Amsterdam, so probably a $3,000 trip if you want your budget on the hotels in London and Amsterdam. So that you can do that. So for $3,000, that's a really good trip out of Halifax with direct flights. So, but it's shoulder season and you have to be prepared to do that. Okay. Second thing, don't forget your credit card bonus programs, loyalty cards, etc., etc. So we use TD Travel for Expedia and TD Infinite Travel quite a bit. Common cards to use in Canada if you're a TD Bank customer. The reason why you do that is over time you accumulate your points. Don't forget the points. But there's even points in old Air Miles cards. There's the old Air Miles program. They don't really no one really offers it that we shop at anymore. But we noticed last year when we did a trip, we have a couple $100 in Air Miles. We better use these before this program, falls. So we actually used it for a couple nights hotels for a cruise out of Orlando, and it worked out great. Were they the hotels we would have picked on our own? No, we wouldn't have done that, but they worked out fine for us. So don't forget those. And the other benefit that TD has is they have $100 travel credit. So you basically, once a year, you're eligible for this $100 credit on basically accommodations or a trip of $500 more. That's pretty easy to do. We use it for accommodations for a trip to Mexico. It's better than booking the hotel site sometimes. My default is, if I'm going to use Marriott's, my default is to use their site, but there's times when it makes sense to use these other offers. So keep that in mind. So like I say, don't forget the travel credit cards. And tip number, I guess, 4 at this point is don't forget, you have to check constantly. You have to be on this. If you want to travel, we'll do 3 trips, and the cost of other people we know will do 1. And we'll enjoy our trip a lot. We probably enjoy it more because we know we got 2 other trips to look forward to. So we don't get disappointed with small things. If we go and the meals aren't what we expected on a cruise, or the hotel's not quite what like, it's no big deal. I don't look at these as trip of a lifetime. We just like to go and do our thing. So just remember to always check. We like MSC. I'm probably on MSC every 2 or 3 days just to see what comes up, because they have some last minute stuff. They have some amazing deals on transatlantic. You can go on a 17-day transatlantic right now from Italy to Miami or Orlando for $640 Canadian. Like, that's just an amazing trip, right? And we may still do that trip. The deals are there. You just got to be open to what they're doing. Helps to be retired. Cruise Plum. I've done a video on Cruise Plum. I use it a lot because I get sometimes too focused on MSC because it's usually the best value. But Cruise Plum will show you other opportunities that make a lot of sense. And like I say, to just kind of keep track of the airlines. For us, WestJet and Air Canada, it's really not that many. And I'll give you an example. Our flights to Mexico, I get Air Miles. I get emails every week from WestJet, and normally there's no deals. But I tend to look anyway. And a couple of weeks ago, some flights to Mexico came up that I know they're the best price of the season. There's no question. I got returned to Cancun for $500 each Canadian, and you won't get that. I mean, that's a very, very good price. It's a direct flight. In season, that'll be $1,200 like in another month or 2. Those things are sold all the time. So you have to kind of use all the tools at your disposal. Look at it as a game. You're trying to game the system, and eventually you're going to come across some really good deals. Don't be afraid. If you've done your research, you shouldn't have a problem pulling the trigger. That's the key. If you've done your research, and I've researched trips. We've researched trips in the past. For example, Portugal. Probably I had done research on the trip off and on for 2 or 3 years, and the opportunity just wasn't coming together. Then a couple of years ago, suddenly the right prices came up, and it was boom, and it was a fantastic trip. So but you pull the trigger when you've done the research. I've had, for example, flights to Australia come up, and I knew I hadn't done the research, but I know, man, it was like $1,200 from Halifax to Sydney, Australia. That's an amazing price. But I hadn't done my research. I didn't pull the trigger. Turns out for various reasons, it's good I didn't pull the trigger. But if you do your research, you know what you're getting into. There's no reason. Just go ahead and book it. You're going to want to travel. So that's it. I hope it helps. And don't be afraid of using these strategies every day, every other day. Just keep at it. It's a game, and it can be a lot of fun. And I hope that works for you. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe. Any comments are great. I love answering them. And anyway, have a great day. Thanks for listening.